Jai Mohanji, we are continuing reading. I am Mohanji, chapter 8, Empowered 4, day 7. Day 7 of Empowered 4 is a very special day to me. It was filled with extraordinary things. Throughout this session of about 2 hours, numerous events happened. Mohanji had begun to talk. Just within a few minutes, as the session began, I got to experience one of his beautiful dimensions. That is, he is omnipresent. He is present as energy inside one and all. He is present outside as well. He is present everywhere. His physical form had manifested right in front of my eyes. Yes, you read it right. For a brief moment, he was actually out of my mobile screen. Subtitle: Manifestation of Mohanji's physical form. Here is the detailed account. I was using my mobile phone to participate in the Empowered courses on Zoom. The entire mobile screen space was covered with just Mohanji's face in the close-up. I was attentively listening to his talk. For a brief moment, my eyes shifted focus from looking in Mohanji's eyes onto the lower part of my mobile screen, where just the beard portion of Mohanji's face was in my vision area. At this point in time, he was gently brushing his hand through his beard. The extraordinary thing about this whole thing is that this moment became live to me. Live is in inverted comma, live to me. The session was live online anyways, but what I mean here is that I had the fortune of his physical presence with me in my own room, in my own home. He was actually out of my mobile screen and was in his real form, just the portion, the lower part of his face where my eyes were focused in that moment. Yes, it is a truth that he was in his real physical manifestation on the mobile screen itself, but a bit out of the mobile screen, like a 3D picture. The face was real, the beard was real, and the hand brushing through the strands of the hair was real. I clearly saw the thick texture of his beard, and I saw the waving of the hair as he brushed his hand across. It was a very brief moment, but really as real as it can be. He had actually come out of the screen. Sai Dayalam, Sai Kripalam, Sai Ananta Triguna Rahitam. You can hear that background music. This special episode is from the holy abode of Sri Shirdi Sai Baba. We are in Shirdi. This temple is not Shirdi temple. This temple is at Hotel Saint Lawn. Saint Lawn is the venue for our Mohanji retreat here in this December of 2025. So if you are really attentively listening to this video right now, you will feel Mohanji's energy because he is in this space right now. You can't see him, but you can feel him. So I thought it is a good idea to do an episode from here so that that energy can be even felt online to the viewers who are listening to our video. So be in the energy and enjoy the reading. We'll continue. I just couldn't process what was happening. I was taken aback and felt blank. And that was not the time even to stop and to be able to give any thought to it. The flow of his talk was continuous. I had to flow with it. I needed to attentively listen to it and try absorbing it. I could find time to assimilate this incident only in the time that followed. I started thinking that this could be his way to bring my distracted attention back to his eyes. It felt like Mohanji knows the minutest things about us, as minute as exactly where is the gaze of our eyes in a particular moment. Contemplation led me to answers like God is aware of not just what we do or what we think, but even where we are looking. He is a witness to every vibration in us. My mind still could not understand how he could possibly come out of my phone. I am based in Houston, USA, and he is based in Bangalore, Bharat. We are that distant during this particular Zoom session. I later discovered the explanations to my quest, which I was reading while I was reading one of the Mohanji's blogs. In that blog, he mentions that the energy has no boundaries. He further explains that the energy is present everywhere. Wherever the intensity of a devotee becomes strong, energy conglomerates in the devotee's desired form of the divine. Mohanji as mirror image. That's the next subtitle. Something more happened during the same session, like maybe in another 10 minutes or so. Mohanji was explaining that masters are not just like mirrors and they reflect our true selves back to us. During this time, I was fidgeting with my face on the right. And amazingly, what did I notice on my mobile screen? I saw exactly the same fidgeting by Mohanji on his face, but on the opposite side, that is on his left side. Now this exactly was a mirror image. It was happening simultaneously. The movements were perfectly synchronized. That moment was indeed a mirror to me. At this point in time, he was explaining about the lineage karma and how it owns our body. Just like we inherit our father's and mother's property or wealth, in the same way the lineage inheritance comes to us. Because this moment became so personal to me and also so extraordinary that I took the words that Mohanji spoke here as personal address to my questions. I now have this new understanding that I actually am exhausting my lineage karma. This definitely brought lightness to me. Until now, I have considered myself responsible for not being able to give a proper birth to my son. I have always held on, blaming myself for a probable negligence somewhere during pregnancy or negligence at the time of delivery that could have remained the cause of lifelong suffering for my son. Though I never got to know the exact reasons, he remained deprived of being able to live a normal life. His speech is effective, his cognitive abilities are affected. He could not ever walk, he could not get a normal childhood, schooling, and friends and stuff. Mohanji has often explained that we cannot take ownership of any actions. That is complete ignorance. He says we can only see the effect while we completely remain unaware of the causal layer that runs through past life karmas. It now felt like it was destined to happen. Though I may be going through the same struggle, though my son may be going through the same difficult life, but now the harshness of the effects has come down substantially. It feels like it is an entrusted duty assigned by God to me. There were pains because I was carrying the burden on my shoulders. Now, with the new understanding, it feels like nothing. Next subtitle. Hard blow plucks out my deepest pains. Mohanji did not just give me answers, but he actually plucked out the deepest pains too. I am sure every person who participated in Empowered 4 has noticed the extent to which Mohanji stressed being responsible towards our dependents throughout the 7 days. That seemed to have become the entire focus of the course. And I must say, it all began after I asked a question to him. The question that I asked was, detachment from possessions is comparatively easier, but how does one detach from a responsibility, especially in my case, where I have shared body with my special needs son of 25 years who is completely dependent on me? It was in the first place a question I couldn't relate to at all. When what I displayed was complete the opposite what I have lived throughout my life. Throughout my son's age of 25 years by then, I did not ever skip a meal or a diaper change or skip a moment where care has to be provided to him. I never ever escaped my responsibility. I have been by his side taking care of his minutest needs, be it wiping his nose every time he sneezes or be it wiping his sweat off. I never got lazy about my duties, whatever my personal, physical, or mental state at any point in time would be. It won't be wrong even if I have to say that I have been so dutiful that I could even rise up from my coffin to help him with his needs. I have taken utmost care, so he has been able to live a happy life, a life free of infections, a life free of falls, a life free of diaper sores. He is living a fulfilling life, a life filled with complete joy and cheer, a life of good health, a life filled with fun and peace. The question I asked was a bunch of misspoken words, a misframed sentence. I do not know what made me word the question the way I did. I can only guess that I could be releasing the pain I had held for so long. The other aspect to this whole thing is that I have had a silent way of disposition. There has never ever been an eye to witness my struggle. I have been enduring it all by myself. The reply to my silly question that Mohanji gave was as follows. He said, I never spoke about detaching from responsibility in the entire Empowered 1, 2, 3 sessions. That's escapism. How can you detach yourself from the responsibilities of your dependents? That's your dharma. Nobody, please never, ever, ever, ever detach from your responsibilities. Detachment means nothing binds you. You should do seva, selfless service, for your son as you would serve supreme consciousness with that bhav. Bhav means feeling. So this is in bracketed words. Please pardon me for I do not recollect exact word to word of the answer, but approximately this was it. These words were hard blow to me. It was very, very hurtful. I have believed Mohanji to be God. I was thinking that even if there was no eye to witness my struggle throughout my life, how could Mohanji's eye not notice? And how did he not know that I never stepped back from my responsibility? And why is that I have to take so much thrashing about something which I have diligently done and the only thing I have done all my life? How could Mohanji give importance to a few misspoken words of mine and completely forget about the acts that I have diligently performed, about the responsibility he entrusted me with? I went through a hard emotional struggle due to the blow that my own question had got upon me. Throughout the 7 days, Mohanji had this prime agenda to speak about doing our responsibilities. The blow was so hard that it didn't just shake me, but the tremors were felt across the group. I am sure the co-participants will agree to this. He kept repeating the words, zero deviation from responsibility, into inverted commas. By the 7th day, I was very, very badly hurt, having repeatedly thrashed. I started feeling a lot of damage to my image, but couldn't do much as my own silly question had got this thrashing upon me. My heart felt much heaviness. What had initially seemed like a hard slap later on proved to be the bitter medicine that cured me of my pains. Beneath the visible answer that Mohanji gave lay the true answer to the deepest pains of my life. The same words were now plucking off these pains completely. I felt so relieved. Mohanji actually never was hard on me. It was my inability to comprehend his Leela. I had to work hard to find my way to the true answer. It all came to me in the form of an intuition. This was important futuristic information related to my deepest worries. It was my first experience ever to even understand what Ridhambara Buddhi, which means cosmic awareness, is all about. Naturally, I wouldn't believe an intuition at first because I could not be basing my life on such some intuition, which I was never even sure if it could be true. Then I started receiving validations from Mohanji telepathically, not just for once, but as many times as needed to make me firmly believe my own feelings. I heard his voice in the deepest chambers of my soul. His words were so kind. He said, you have a value here. You deserve to be happy. I guide well. The path takes you forward. We are walking together, right? Tears rolled down my cheeks. The intuition I am now believing to be the most authentic truth of life. Next story, or maybe the next subtitle. Yeah, it's a next story. Joy of living a scripture yet again. Maharaj Leela with Mohanji as Krishna. Day 7 was the closing session of Empowered 4. I had thoughts of doing some makeover for my own follies. The only way I could think of was to leave a note of gratitude to Mohanji and let all the participants know that I was taking things positively and taking things as meant for my own betterment, for my process of purification. This way I was trying to make up, to polish my tarnished image and neatly close this episode. Once bitten, twice shy. I was afraid that I might end up misspeaking once yet again and might make things worse. It so happened one of the participants had a question to attain clarity about having desires. In answer to her question, Mohanji was saying that if you have a desire, you must go ahead and fulfill it. That is what you have taken the body for, and if you don't do so, you might want to take another birth. Was it worth it? He was actually addressing somebody else's question, but intuitively I felt as if the address was to me and as if he knew what was going in my mind. This gave me the courage to click on the raise hand icon, and I really wanted to put this note across and close the topic. By then, there were many hands raised already. It was like walking a tightrope. I was not very sure if I could even get a chance to speak. Time was going very fast. Just a few minutes were left. While I constantly kept thinking about being able to get a chance to speak, Mohanji had a hidden surprise awaiting me. These last few minutes brought immense joy to me. Because there was a time constraint, Mohanji said he would just take another three questions and conclude. One by one, the three people asked their questions, and I did not stand a chance in any of these three. Then, our facilitator told Mohanji that there were two more hands raised and if we would like to take those. Mohanji here said that he would like to speak to somebody who has not spoken to him before. My heart was beating very fast because I couldn't be the one, as I had already spoken to him once. It very soon came to my notice that the other lady also had an earlier chance of speaking to Mohanji, so we both stood an equal chance. Now our facilitator had to choose between us. She chose the other lady to ask her question. I thought I missed it again. It didn't get finished here. Mohanji randomly took one more question from some other lady, and finally the time was up. I completely sunk. It was all over. But very soon I heard the voice of the facilitator saying that there was just one last hand raised. She asked Mohanji if he would be able to accommodate. Then there was a pause. Pause is in inverted. The pause was a brief one, but it brought a rush of thoughts and emotions in me. Will he accommodate? Could I even be this last hand that the facilitator mentioned? Is Mohanji still mad at me? Mohanji broke the pause and kindly agreed to take the question. And this time I was lucky. The facilitator asked me to speak. I felt so relieved. I quickly put some nice words across, kind of saved my life, and closed the topic. Now one might wonder what is the joy that I mentioned before narrating the whole thing and where is it hidden? So the joy here is I felt like being a part of special scripture here. Scripture from Krishna's pastimes, where Krishna plays hide and seek with gopas and gopis. Once the mud of the disturbed feelings of mine had settled, I could see the truth through and through like crystal clear water. I perceived he had been teasing me knowingly, just like Krishna played hide and seek with the gopis by not taking my question and having everybody else speak with him one by one. The mischief is visible in his rolling eyes at the pause moment. Rolling eyes and pause moment are in inverted. Mohanji cannot keep his devotees to yearn for long. His leelas are beyond comprehension. He melts very fast. He let me have my time. It was pure divine bliss, love that he was expressing and showering upon me. He was gracing me with the highest of the highest honors, allowing me to be part of Maharaj Leela while I kept juggling with the thoughts of my mind. This story is actually special. And here is a picture of Krishna's pastime, Maharaj Leela. You can see Krishna and the gopis in the Maharaj Leela. Beautiful story. With this, we will stop here. It's end of chapter 8. Om Sai Ram. Lots of blessings from this holy abode of Sri Shirdi Sai Baba and holy place, holy presence of Sri Mohanji. Blessings to all from both the masters. Thank you, Jai Mohanji.